then. Thanks so much for inviting us over and telling me a little bit more about what you do here.
My pleasure, Anastasia.
Fantastic. So I've actually heard that you're one of the longest employees here.
About 12 years.
That's how long, hey?
Yeah.
Pretty good. What has kept you here exactly?
The atmosphere, the people, the energy, the chances to learn new things, the constant change. There's so much to see and do and so many people to learn from or to help teach. I've loved every second of it.
Well, how about you start telling me a little bit more about OpenSRS, specifically the NOC?
We have three purposes mainly. We monitor events, so if there's anything that goes wrong whatsoever, we have a huge screen in our area that lets us know. We react to it, we create a ticket around it, and we try to fix it right off the bat.
Right.
And we're responsible for communication back to the rest of the company. We are also an escalation point. So if for whatever reason a customer has an issue that the support team can't fix right off the bat, they'll bring it to us, and we in turn have access to every resource OpenSRS has to offer.
Great.
Lastly, we're in essence the information hub. So above and beyond issues and any incidents that happen, we're responsible for communicating to the rest of the company whenever there's a maintenance window, whenever there's any sort of service impacting maintenance going on or work going on. We just make sure that everyone's in the loop and we can present an appropriate bit of information to the customer so they don't have to experience anything without understanding what's going on.
So can you explain that to me in a little more common speak, layman's terms?
If I had to compare the NOC to anything at this point in time, I guess we would kind of be the Inspector Gordon of the Batman
universe,
world.
Right?
Basically, if anything happens, we have a police force internally that looks into the issue.
Okay.
They let us know, and we do our detective work.
Okay.
And if we can't fix it, we put up the bat symbol, as it were, and call in the cavalry. We bring in ops engineering or whoever else is required.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Well, can you tell me a bit about the best practices or tools that you use?
Well, right now, we've just transitioned into an ITIL compliant process.
Okay.
And what that means is we're using a very common industry standard to track any issue that comes in. From the support level down to a developer level, we go through it step by step, ensure that there's documentation, ensure that there is logging for what any person does, and we just follow it all the way through. Part of the other process that we interact with when it comes to our developers and our engineers is an agile process.
Okay.
And I have a feeling another person you're going to be talking to will
tell me a little more about that. Okay, great. So what happens when there is a crisis situation?
On those rare occurrences, it's like bells and sirens go off and we all leap into action, quite literally. So in the first 15 minutes, which are critical, we look at the issue, we try to replicate it, we gather as much information as we can about what's going on, and then we send out an informed update to our communications team. They put it up on the status portal, they make sure support's in the loop, and anyone who calls in from that point in time will have an accurate picture of what we're doing at that moment to fix the issue. Within a half hour of the actual start of whatever the issue is, we have an operations resource already assigned to it. We have an engineer right on hand if we need it, because we want to fix these things in that time frame. On those rare occasions when something goes longer than that, we even include the executive level. We make sure all the staff know, and that way, no matter who calls in, whom they call in to, there's information there, so the customer doesn't have to worry that their problem either isn't being addressed or isn't being dealt with in a timely fashion.
Well, it sounds like you're pretty busy around here. What do you do to stop yourself from kind of, getting overwhelmed and going crazy with it all?
Ooh, well, there's a lot of things we like to do, but I'd have to say foosball.
Foosball.
That's our main source of stress release here.
That's fantastic. Very cool. Maybe we can play some foosball later?
I think we could arrange that.
Perfect.
Love to.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to speak to me. It was an absolute pleasure, and all the best.
Likewise, Anastasia.
Thanks.